You may have heard about the big increase of migrants crossing the border last month, but who's coming is almost as interesting as how many people are arriving at the border. Let's connect the dots. Almost 2/3 of the people apprehended by Border Patrol last month were parents and children. We said apprehended, not caught, on purpose. That's because a large share of the migrants are presenting themselves to Border Patrol agents seeking asylum. The people seeking asylum are overwhelmingly coming from Central America, specifically Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador. And since there are strict limits on how long immigrant children and families can be held, officials often release them until their immigration hearing. That's allowing some to stay in the country illegally, even if they lose out in the asylum process. That's why officials have spent the last year working on how to expand family detention, while the Trump administration has taken steps to reduce the ways people can qualify for asylum. Connecting the dots, for H-Town Rush, I'm Adam Bennett.